I've sent 5 people money to come be with me. I've run through $100,000. But I think number 6 is going to show up.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Dr. Phil has just finished a 2-day investigation about this woman who has given away potentially all of her life savings to this random guy that she met online. And yeah, once again, it's clearly not a real person, so keep watching to see if she can get help before it's too late. She's a bit of a know-it-all too, and just thinks that everyone is lying to her and don't want her to find love or something, which could not be more further from the truth. Pretty insane, but without further ado, let's meet this woman and hear her story.
Lois' sister Luann and her daughter Candace say they are 100% convinced that Lois is being scammed by various men she meets online.
Oh, fun. Sounds like this is a common thing for her too. I was apparently wrong in the intro. I know the guy we're talking about today is the main one she sends money to, but she actually has multiple men that she's, quote, dating or has dated in the past that were all, I'm sure, supposedly stuck in a foreign country and needed money to get home. Calling that one now, that's literally the most common scam that these people fall victim to. The daughter even catfished the catfish themselves, if that makes sense. Like, she went undercover to try to act like a vulnerable old woman too, and was able to prove to the mother just how fake some of these men were. But even after that, the mother still insists that they are real, and so is their love. It's kind of odd to see how delusional she's willing to be just to feel some attention from someone else.
Now, Lois admits that she has gone bankrupt from her online relationships, but is currently engaged, thankfully.
Oh, that's the other thing. She had another guy in real life that wanted to marry her and was around to really make her actually feel loved, but instead she wanted to keep communicating with these fake online boyfriends and send them money instead, and left that guy. So I don't really know what's wrong with this woman or what she wants. She had everything in front of her that she needed, and instead she wanted to have these long distance calls with these people that probably don't even speak very good English. And I was possibly wrong in the intro earlier. You know, she might not be desperate for love and attention at this point. She might just for some reason love getting catfished, since it almost seems like she's going out of her way to get finessed right now.
You had a relationship with Dr. Morris, and he even confessed that he scammed you.
Yes, he did.
Here's where I'm really just confused at this entire situation and how the daughter just can't step in to get legal power over her mother's estate or something. Like, clearly, this woman is not fit to control her own money at this point if she's just giving it away to these scammers. She continued to talk to and give money to someone that fully admitted that they were scamming her and not who they said they were. That is just so ridiculous to actually believe that I'm convinced that this woman really just enjoys the process of being catfished at this point. Yo guys, before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
Not one of them has ever shown up. Now, come on, but before you talk, let's just be commonsensical, okay?
Dr. Phil said something here and then isn't even letting her respond to that statement because he already knows that she's just instantly trying to come up with some excuses and other lies that really don't help her out at all. I mean, there's no way to excuse that giant piece of information or really any of the truths that he brings up here. Trust me, he exposes just about every aspect of this scam. And throughout the thousands that she sent to these people and the countless heartbreaks, not one of them has ever actually returned home or seen her. That's right, almost all of her catfish are people who are of course operating the same scam where they are simply stuck overseas somewhere and need her help, and she fell for every single one of them. Sadly, I don't see her owning up to her mistakes very well, since her kid and sister have been telling her this for years, and she just thinks they're crazy, not her.
This is Fred to you. In fact, his name is Mark and he lives in North Carolina. Mark, how are you?
Doing great.
As if she needed more proof beyond the evidence that's been in front of her eyes all this time, they even tracked down the guy who one of the scammers were using for fake pictures, and he explains to this woman as clear as day that he is not the person she's been talking to, he's never seen this woman before, and it is definitely a scam.
Have you been dehydrated in New York and couldn't find one out of 1,100 Bank of Americas?
Alright dude, literally nobody is on this woman's side right now, and I almost feel bad for her here. I mean, on one hand, yes, if you were a grown adult this old, you should be able to deduce right away that these were all scams, so she's of course pretty foolish to believe any of this. But on the other hand, she's seeing the man now that she's thought she's been in love with for all this time, and he's laughing at her face at how improbable any of these lies were to believe. And so are the audience, and so is Dr. Phil. I mean, talk about an awkward situation all around, but it was kind of necessary for Dr. Phil to do that. It's one of the only foolproof ways to prove that this guy is not honest about any of this stuff.
Do you believe that you're being scammed?
Maybe with Fred, but Paul, I feel like he's I feel
Well, let's
like
just
he's
talk
going
about
to
Fred
go.
right now.
Okay.
Dr. Phil, thank you so much for opening my eyes to that insane scam that I was almost giving all my money to. Oh, now I know to stay away from talking to that guy. Luckily, my other boyfriend, Paul, who is definitely not running the exact same scam in operation, is still very real, and so is our love. Seriously though, how could this woman be so gullible and think that way? I mean, she's been giving nothing but facts, which were of course obvious if you look at the whole story overall for like 2 seconds, but yet she's still thinking that Dr. Phil and her family and literally everyone else in the world are the crazy ones. It's not her. We're all the ones that can't believe in her true love. That is very, very much real and obviously not a scam.
Lois says last year she met up with Jeffrey Daniels to exchange $9,000 in cash for a suitcase that he had sent over from Afghanistan.
Here's where things get beyond crazy though. She's legit putting herself in sketchy situations all for these fake online boyfriends. She somehow was convinced to take out $9,000 of her own money in cash and bring it to some random motel room where she was to exchange that for a suitcase with some random associate that her fake boyfriend knows.
Instead, Jeffrey Daniels presented stacks of white money that needed a special solvent before they could be used.
Yep, this woman traded 9,000 real American dollars for a pile of white strips of paper that apparently just needed special solvent to turn into real $100 bills. I'm sure they told her it was worth way more than 9,000 too, so she agreed, and once again I am baffled by her foolishness. The more we find out about this woman, the more I question her. I mean, I really didn't get into it earlier, but one of the other lies she believed is that at one point her boyfriend was back in America and stuck in New York City and needed money since he couldn't find a single Bank of America in all of New York City to take his cash out. It's once again almost like this woman is going out of her way to lose all of her money to these people.
Why the $9,000?
The $9,000 was supposed to pay for the storage fee and tax to receive the luggage at the time when I met him.
Okay, that part makes sense. I mean, you guys have seen international shipping prices, right? Every time I have to ship something, over to another country, I have to pay $9,000 in fees too, so I feel her pain. Totally normal, and I get why she didn't even bat an eye at almost spending $10,000 to get this suitcase here, and just willingly went and pulled that money out. Props to her bank too for not even questioning it, and just giving it to her all willy-nilly.
Lois was nervous to travel with the white money, which she says totaled approximately $136,500 when she counted it.
Okay, think about this. Not only was this woman finessed out of almost 10 grand for some cut up strips of white printer paper, but she also sat there and counted it all out at some point to make sure it totaled over $100,000 supposedly. What an awesome boyfriend too. I mean, she only had to give him $9,000 and he gave her back over 10 times her investment. All she has to do now is make this special solvent or buy it, and it will definitely turn to money. Oh, but the other thing, the solvent is made in France. It's very hard to get your hands on, and she had to pay another $6,500 just to get a little bottle of it. She's even so convinced about this all being real that she had Dr. Phil pay for a courier service to box up the safe nicely and drive it to the show taping. Smart move if you ask me. You gotta protect your nearly $10,000 investment, and even though being on Dr. Phil is cool and all, you gotta make sure your assets are straight.
Okay. Shall we?
Yes, if you think it will happen, it should.
Well, no, you tell me.
Yes.
You've seen it happen, right?
Yes, I have.
So Dr. Phil is about to test out this white money that she was given from her boyfriend overseas, and you can tell this woman is getting a little bit nervous here. First off, apparently this solution, like I said, was very special and designed in France, and they paid $6,500 to have this on the show, Dr. Phil said. So she brought it for the demonstration, and I think the reason that she's getting so nervous is because she's of course tried this herself, and obviously saw that it didn't work when she dipped these little strips in the paper. They probably just got soggy and did not turn to $100 bills, and she's about to be exposed on TV here right now, and that's probably very scary for her. So they try out the strip, it of course just gets wet, doesn't change at all, and they even bring on a dude that spent 22 years in the Secret Service running a task force that was against these kind of overseas money scams, and he perfectly predicts how the whole thing went. It's apparently a very common tactic, and she fell right for it. The sad part is throughout this, she's debating him and making up lies on the spot trying to cover up for this guy, even though we have possibly one of the most experienced people in this field telling you to your face without a doubt that you got scammed. Like, how are you still making excuses? Alright, I'm actually getting a headache from watching this woman try to explain herself out of all of these blatant facts she's been faced with. How can she be so lost in this delusion that she can't even accept that clearly this piece of paper was not even cut properly and isn't even shaped exactly like a $100 bill? She fell prey to one of the laziest scammers of all time, and this dude really just hit the jackpot by finding this woman. In the end, she even tells Dr. Phil to talk to the guy who gave her the money, and then as soon as she brings that guy up, Dr. Phil even has the tea on him on deck. I mean, he explains that it's a common picture they use in scams. They've seen this guy's image before, before, and this number that she's been texting was linked to a free texting app that someone outside of America was probably using to make themselves look like they had an American number. Regardless, that won't help her to see the truth since none of this stuff before did, and I really don't think anything will convince her at this point. I don't feel bad for her when there have been so many people proving how wrong she is, yet she keeps going. So I don't know, guys. I really don't know what to think about this. Let me know what you thought of this woman down in the comments. She has to be one of the most gullible people that I've seen on this show so far. But anyways, that about does it for today's video, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.